Why do you need lead magnets for your business? And what is the number one mistake when creating a lead magnet? And how do you create one easily? I'm going to talk about all that in this video. Hello Mompreneurs, Pink here, the Heartpreneur Mom, helping you juggle business and motherhood easier, happier. And in this Facebook live show, we do all things tech, so you don't have to figure it all out when you can be using the time to play with your children or spending time with your family. So, and if you're watching this live, subscribe with the button on the top right hand corner and you'll be notified whenever a new episode is released. So let's dive in directly to today's topic, all about lead magnets. Well, I've spoken a bit about lead magnets in my previous episodes, and I've had mompreneurs who came to ask me, Ping, can you please cover an episode on lead magnets? But I took some time before I actually came out with this episode because I really didn't know what there was to say about lead magnets. To me, it's like a fairly direct thing, but apparently not. So let's cover that today. What's a lead magnet? So lead magnet in essence is also called a bait piece. It's also called an ethical bribe. Like Russell Brunson calls it an ethical bribe. It's something that you give your audience, your ideal client, that provides immediate value and quick results for them, right? So why do you want to have this in the first place? So we all know that lead magnets are important for our business, but there are so many things involved in our business that somehow lead magnets tend to slide down in priority. But why is it important for us to take care of lead magnets to begin with? So as you can tell from the name, a lead magnet is for you to capture leads. It's when you are offering this thing for your ideal client, you are also asking for something in return, their email address, most of the time. But what more a lead magnet does is to let other people experience your value. So besides building your trust, you also, your list, I mean. So besides building your list, a lead magnet also helps you build trust and build authority with someone who doesn't know you and is wondering what they can be getting or receiving from you, or what's in it for them when they watch a video of yours or attend a training of yours or even visit your website. So earlier on, I said that a lead magnet is something that will give them a quick win, right? And why I wanted to bring this up is because many of us, this is like the number one mistake that most people make when it comes to lead magnets, is that we keep thinking, what is the value that we can give to our client, right? So we want to give them a lot of things. We want to make it impressive. This is the first contact. We want to make it such that they are wowed by the content. So a lot of times, and myself included, we are thinking and worrying about how should it be done, what should the lead magnet talk about, and how long should the content be, whether I need to spend a lot of time to prepare it, all these things. But the one thing that we forget to do most of the time is what will our audience and potential client value? What is important for them? What would they find beneficial? What would they be hungry to find out, right? And what would give them a quick win? So please turn this around and think from your target audience's perspective, not what you should be doing or what you are looking at competitors doing and thinking that you just want to give so much. This was one big mistake that I myself made when I was coming out with my lead magnet a few months back. So I wanted to create a list of tips for mothers to teach resilience in their children. and I created a 5-page PDF. I sent it to a couple of friends for their feedback, and the consistent feedback that came back was that it's too long. Give me something shorter that I can consume in a shorter time. You know what? For a moment, I sat there. First of all, I was slightly offended, thinking that, hey, I'm giving you so much value, and yet you're asking me for less, right? And besides, in their feedback, they were asking for some other things as well. And that got me thinking, you are asking for this, but you don't want it very long. So what is the format and what's the ideal length that would totally please you? So I got defensive and upset. But as I got thinking, I realized that I totally missed one important point, which was to value what they wanted, right? I was giving tips to a busy mompreneur, right? So they didn't have much time to go through such lengthy content. So basically, they wanted something that they could just glance through in their mobile phone, preferably, and that they would be able to go away with some pointers that they can apply immediately. So that's the point about quick wins. So always think from your clients and your audience perspective. Most of the time, people like tools, worksheets, cheat sheets, quick start guides, checklists, and bonus videos. So talking about checklists, I want to show you one checklist of my mentor, Chris Duncan. So he has an amazing checklist that he has offered as a lead magnet. It's a 19-point checklist. But if you take a look at this, you would see how nicely it's how much content there is in this thing, and also the fact that if you are an entrepreneur who is his target audience, you would totally find these points extremely relevant. And let me pull that out for you, because I actually forgot to prepare this window. I had it open, but I didn't have it nicely laid out. So let me show it to you. So this is what my mentor, Christopher Duncan, had prepared as a lead magnet. So if you take a look at this, it's really all the 19-point checklist is on one sheet of paper, right? So if you want to print this out and check things off, you could easily do it. And even then, for you to have a quick glance through it, it takes just a couple of seconds. But we all know that if this is a 19-point checklist for you to make 9K in your business, it has to be more than this. So if you look at the bottom over here, and you may not be able to see it so well, so let me bring this up a little. Yep, great. So if you take a look at the bottom over here, it says here, learn more than a checklist can ever communicate. So that's an online event. So that's exactly what you can be doing, right? You have a very simple, straightforward cheat sheet or a checklist or a lead magnet that can deliver value to your ideal client in seconds, preferably, if not in just a couple of minutes. And then if you feel that you need to substantiate it with more content, then add a link below so that they can go watch it if they want to. But that totally just gives exactly what the client wants. So this is a great example of a cheat sheet that will appeal to an entrepreneur who is the right target audience, and is easy to consume, and it's able to give someone a quick win. So the other thing I wanted to cover is that there are a few types of lead magnets. And in this context today, I'm going to cover two. So know that not all lead magnets are made the same. Right. So the first kind of lead magnet is a generic lead magnet that you can have, for example, on your website. So anywhere a person clicks and lands on your website, they get to have maybe a pop-up window to say, get this cheat sheet free and put in your email contact to receive it. Right. So that's a generic lead magnet for your entire website. That's the first kind of lead magnet that you should all do, right? Don't go thinking about the complex ones. Just do one generic one for your entire website. The second type of lead magnet would be the content-specific type of lead magnet that links up to either a post or a video or a podcast. So whenever you have a post, so let's say I am, the last time I did a lead magnet for my Techie tutorials, I talked about how to use Facebook to make money. And then my lead magnet was a reality checklist, because I was talking about a lot of mistakes that a person is likely to make in Facebook live video. And the reality checklist is for them to see if they've been doing any of these mistakes that I've been talking about in the video. So that was my lead magnet for that video. The content is exactly compatible and tied in. So that's what you can do when you have more time and some things are in automated systems and processes. You can do that. Amy Porterfield, for example, also likes to have a customized lead magnet for each of her podcast episode. So it may take up a lot of time. So if you're one lady show, one mom show, doing all these things on your own, then you may want to just be realistic about things, and let's just start with a site-wide generic lead magnet first. And then you can be doing the thematic ones. Talking about theme, then I have another great idea and tip for you to be able to have your content-specific lead magnets, which is to batch up your content in monthly themes. So if you have a theme for the month of August being everything about Facebook, so then your lead magnet could be something related to Facebook and not about Instagram, not about blogs, and not about online courses. It would be something that's relevant to Facebook, because all the content that you are rolling out for that month, be it your blog posts or your Facebook live videos or your podcasts or anything at all, any form of content, if you roll out in the month of August, it's going to be about Facebook, and therefore it's the content-specific lead magnet would be relevant. So that saves you some time when you are preparing your lead magnets, because then you need to do one for generic site-wide and then just one every month for content-specific. So that's my tip for the day. So another thing that I want to show you would be how you can be creating lead magnets easily, because that's again one of the very common questions that I get, and there are people thinking about and getting themselves all stressed up about getting a fancy lead magnet done up, for example, like a simple video sequence, which is totally not necessary at this point when you're starting out. If you don't already have a site-wide generic lead magnet, then I suggest you start with one first. And that can easily be done in the form of a downloadable PDF. And let me show you how that can be done. Let me just go to my window to click on that. So yes, one of the first tools, of course, and I've mentioned this so many times and it's a favorite tool for many entrepreneurs and mompreneurs out there, is Canva. So Canva is an online design tool which you can use to design so many things besides lead magnets. But today I'm going to show you specifically about lead magnets. And if you go to all designs or create a design, you are able to select from all forms of popular designs like social media posts, documents. So documents would be what you would be looking at most likely. But if you like, you also have infographics or ebooks at the bottom, or marketing materials if you're having a one-pager. But for today, to make things simple, I'm going to just click on A4 for you to see what kind of design element can come up from A4. So if you look over here, Canva gives you many layout suggestions to begin with. So you don't need to start from scratch. So I'm a person who's totally not really talented in terms of creativity and design. So I need a little bit of trigger for me to get some ideas of what I want my lead magnet to look like. And these Canva layout suggestions are perfect for that purpose. So I would have gotten the text or the rough outline of my lead magnet prepared in Word. And then I'll come to Canva and I'll look at all these layouts and I'll see which one sort of seems like the end result that I have in mind, right? So if you see over here, if I hover my mouse over, you'll be able to see that some of them have this little dollar sign that come out on the bottom left corner, right corner. And that means that this is not a free layout. So if you like, you can totally just go to the free ones, right? So all the layouts over here, you can just go to the free ones. There are plenty for you to select and they look really good as well. So when I was scrolling through the layouts, I selected this one over here, and let's take a click to see what this has to offer. So this is like a media kit and there are two layouts suggested. So if you have, for example, a graph or an introduction, you can have this, and the other one, you can just dive straight into content. So let's take a look at this, right? It's not exactly what I want, but I will be able to edit it to make it closer to my end result. So, and if you like, you can always make another copy of it or a few copies of it so you have the fixed page layout that you want. Or if you like a combination of these two layouts, you can definitely select this as well. No, you can use only one or the other, so don't replace. All right, so let's see what I can do about this. So for this, I can have the text to say all about lead magnets, right? And I reduce the font so that it can all fit into one line. And what I think I want to do with this box over here is to have an about me section at the end of my lead magnet. So it seems really odd if someone were to opt in and then the first thing they see is an introduction about me, right? So I want to have this on the start of the second page. So I'll move it down. So you can see over here, some of the components are locked. So what I can do is to ungroup it and then I'll be able to shift it. Right, so if I select this, I'm able to shift it down. It's locked again. So I'm going to bring this down anyway to have this at the bottom of the page, and I'm going to bring these up. Okay. And I'm going to have one of the photos, wedding packages. So I'm going to bring all of these up as well. So I can start to edit the text on the left, right? And if I want to, I can actually be adding pictures or some elements, and you can see over here that there are many cute illustrations that you can use for free again, even though you may not have very nice stock photos or very relevant ones. So for example, if you had something that talked about a meal plan, so one of your service or packages has food related to it, you can add this illustration over here. And again, most of them are free. And then you can actually go select as well. So if I want an illustration of a computer, these are all the illustrations that will come up, but you can see that most of them are payable. So then later on, these are the ones that are free. So I can have this illustration over here for a computer, right? So you can see, so I can put it anywhere on the page and I can resize it. So this is how you can be creating a lead magnet with Canva really easily. But let's say you find that this is still quite intimidating and you want to use something that is easier, then I would suggest that you use Word. So if you're a PC user like me and you use Microsoft Word, then you can be using Word to create a lead magnet. And this is where, so if you go to click on new and you're creating a new document, there are many suggested layouts as well, right? So you can pick from one of the layouts over here, or you can just go to search, and I'm going to search for checklist. Over here, right? So you see that there will be all these different designs of checklists that appear that you can be using as a start. And again, it's really a start. You would never be able to find a template that's entirely 100% what you want, but having a start as a base to begin with would really be helpful. So this is what will options there are. And let's take a look at one of them over here, the back to school checklist, right? So this is the back to school checklist, and you can see here that it has checklists, main checklists, and also sub checklists. So let's say if I'm having a checklist for what is it? So checklists for lead magnet creation. Okay, so this is what I will have, and I can be putting my logo here if I want to, and I can definitely be changing all of the text over here. And what I'll do after this, when everything's satisfactory, I can be adding a footer, I can be adding pictures, anything, right? And once I'm done, what I can be doing is to save the file as a PDF file. So if I want to save the file, I can save as, or I can export it as a PDF. So I don't even need an external program to change this into PDF format. I can just do it directly in Word over here. Right? So these are the couple of very easy ways how you can be creating a lead magnet. And again, I want to stress that a good lead magnet is not one that is 20 pages long, and it's also not one that takes you 20 days to complete, right? So please don't get obsessive over your side of, okay, I need it to be perfect, or I want it to give as much value to my potential client as possible. But think from their perspective. If it could be 5 tips that would get them thinking, whoa, these are so useful, how come I didn't think of it? I would be able to use them straight away. These 5 tips are priceless for your audience. You may not think that it's a big deal, but it is, because they are so time strapped. Basically, they just want something that's really easy to consume, but they can get value out of it. So I really want to emphasize this point, because this is the biggest mistake that most mompreneurs go through. They keep thinking that their lead magnet or bait piece has to be perfect and has to be tremendous value, and they end up getting stuck thinking about, so if I'm giving so many things away in my lead magnet, then what else would I be able to give out, either in my blogs or in my videos or even in my paid program, right? So you wouldn't want to do that. But what a good rule of thumb is really to think of what can be the simplest way to deliver the biggest value to your client, right? So I've also covered what are the two different types of lead magnets. There's one that's a generic, that's a site-wide, which I highly recommend that you do for your website if you are starting out. And if you are stepping out to be a little bit more adventurous, then I would suggest you go to the second type of lead magnet, which is to have a lead magnet that ties in with whichever content piece that you are creating, be it a blog post, a video, or podcast. So if you're doing that, it's a lot more relevant, and you'll find that your viewers or listeners or readers would be able to get more value out of that lead magnet. But this is really the step 2, and you may not need to do it with every single episode or live show that you do. You can batch it up to a monthly theme so that you only need to do a content specific lead magnet once a month. And the third thing I did today was to introduce to you 2 easy ways that you can be creating a lead magnet using first Canva and second using Microsoft Word, or if you're a Mac user, you can easily do that with Pages, right? So if you've enjoyed this tutorial and you want to have access to more, comment "I want in," because we have a Techie Heartpreneur Moms Facebook community where I go in there to do more detailed tutorials. So if you want to have access to all that, comment "I want in," and I will have the link sent your way. So really interesting that today I'm doing a video on lead magnets. So am I going to offer a lead magnet? Well, I suppose I should, to illustrate a point, isn't it? But I didn't prepare any document that's able for you to download. So what I have is a Techie roadmap consultation that is worth $199 US. So I would pick one lucky winner. Or, you know what? Let's just have a generous giveaway today. Since it's going to be a lead magnet, I shouldn't be restricting it to only one person, right? So if you want to receive a Techie roadmap consultation from me, where I would have you fill up some pre-work and then jump on a one-on-one call with me to go through all the things that are essential for your business at the point of your business right now, and what are all the tech things that are totally unnecessary that you shouldn't be spending your time and money over, then comment Techie roadmap in the comments, and I'll be sending you a link so that you can book an appointment to have this consultation with me. So that is my lead magnet for this Techie tutorial episode, so that you will be able to experience some more of my value and for me to be able to get your email address. So you see, I am showing you what I'm teaching you. So lastly, to recap the key points and links to the apps or sites that I talk about. So later on, I'll be putting the links up to Canva. You can refer to the show notes shortly after this video ends, after I update it. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did delivering it. And until next time, the Heartpreneur Mom here is here to help you juggle business and motherhood easier, happier. We talk soon. Bye.